Personally, I think no, but they say let's wait until the flights take off and see. The whole deal...
Will there be any? Sorry to interrupt immediately, but that's my issue. Are there going to be any?
Well, Boris Johnson and Priti Patel seem to think that they will be, and they've actually said there's going to be some coming in May. So let's see if they do take off. But the whole deal is based on us sending 500 people to Rwanda and hoping that 27,500 people will then be deterred by that. And we've seen at the moment on the weekend, yourselves have reported that, just a few minutes ago, that it hasn't made any difference. 500 people came just in a weekend. So even if we did send those who came in a weekend to Rwanda, what about the ones who come today, tomorrow?
But I suppose you could argue that the reason there hasn't been a deterrent effect yet is because there haven't been those flights going out yet. So maybe we would have to see, I guess. Nobody can know what will happen then. But I do want to get your views around the deal in general, especially from a moral point of view, because Priti Patel and the government have been attacked quite a lot because of people saying it's racist, it's unethical, it's against people's human rights. What do you make of that?
I don't think it's racist as such, because we had a minister say, actually, this could apply to Ukrainians as well. So if Ukrainians come on a boat, we're going to send them to Rwanda too. So I don't think it's racist in that. Morality, we have to see if someone's coming to us asking for help, fleeing war, and, and some actually come from Rwanda. So if we look at the new Doctor Who, he came from Rwanda when there was a civil war there at the age of 2, went to Scotland, got asylum there. Now it's a success story, but we'll have to see, do we offer them help or not? I think the concern of the British public is the numbers and the strains that it puts on our societies and the medical services, the schools, in relation to
housing stock, really, as well.
Housing.
Which is massive.
In relation to that, that's legitimate concerns of people in their areas. But then if we look at the numbers actually in the way it trickles, 80 million refugees there are in a year. We take on about 20,000, so it's less than 0.02%.
Yeah, but I just say, look, I get that, absolutely, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, we are quite a small country. So we're a small country with a massive population, given our size, and so there is a bit of a misnomer there. Can I ask, look, and I know we've spoken about this before, people hear the words immigration lawyer and they assume you're making money off this, are you?
Well, I haven't done legal aid since 2003. Legal aid has been cut for immigration. A lawyer doesn't get involved in an immigration case until someone is refused and they have to go to court. When someone's getting interviewed by the Home Office, lawyers don't go, they don't get paid for that. When someone comes in at Dover, there's not a big line of lawyers there. The lawyer doesn't see the person until that person is released and has a refusal letter and then says, right, I want to appeal. Even that, the client has to pay for it themselves. And a lot of them are helped not out by lawyers, but by charities. So the Refugee Council do some amazing work.
You don't work for free, do you?
No, but our immigration is a big thing. So it's not just asylum. It's like, say, an elderly gentleman goes to Thailand on holiday and wants to get married to a woman from Thailand. I help bring that over, I help reunite families. Someone adopts kids from abroad. So, there are sources of income elsewhere. Asylum seekers are not a good source of income for any immigration lawyer.
Look, I mean...
I'm glad you made it clear.
That's stuck in my head now, that example.
It's not all bad in Thailand.
Yeah. I defend your right to make lots of money as a lawyer. Absolutely. That's what you want to do. But I do want to ask, we hear, or we see in the headlines a lot, that there are lots of illegitimate asylum claims, and we know there are. There's about 40%, somewhere around there, are refused asylum. But there's also this thing about people gaming the system, perhaps lying about their age or or using, excuses or gaming the system to try and stay in the country. Do you think that's an accurate reflection of what's happening in terms of people kind of gaming the system to be allowed to stay?
There is elements of that. Every system is abused and used. We've seen that from the Grenfell scheme. We've seen it to benefit system. We know that's abused.
COVID
loans. It doesn't matter. I always say that, and it's a great saying, in this world there's enough for everyone's needs, but there's not enough for everyone's greeds. So every system will be abused. The job of the government is to close the roots of abuse, and it doesn't seem to be doing that successfully. They've had 12 years, really, to stop these crossings. And if they're saying, no, actually, they're increasing every year, then someone is doing a bad job. if we work for private organisations, if we were doing a bad job consistently for 12 years, forget 12 years, we did one for 12 days, we'd be out on our ear and we'd be jobless. But it doesn't seem to make any difference. So every time the government sort of panders a new system, brings it in, and then surprise, surprise, it fails. It doesn't matter what it is.
Arguably, the other side would just have open borders, which is presumably worse.
Yeah, well, see, very few people advocate open borders. Every country has a right to protect its borders. But the scheme has got to be realistic, it's got to be cost-effective, it's got to be something that works. We have 500 places in Rwanda. We're going to pay maybe up to $1 billion a year on that. The Australians managed to process 3,500 at a cost of $5 billion UK
but they
pounds.
towed them back, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
We aren't doing that. We can't, really.
We can't. So that's the thing. Logistically, and also, should we rely on the French to police that and stop them? We can't. Yeah. We had something called a Dublin Convention. We used to send 70,000 people back via that to countries in Europe where they claimed asylum. We're out of that now. So it's pretty much... We need something to stop the crossings. We need to get the gangs. It's almost like saying, if I bang up 500 drug users, I'm going to stop the drug dealers.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop it. It's not going to deter it. This is the theory that the government's going. I'm going to lock up 500 drug dealers and there'll be no more drug dealers. That's just not going to work. It's the gangs who are making the money. It's not the asylum seeker who's profiting. It's the gangs who are making the money. There's more money made in people trafficking than drug trafficking. Once the viewers understand that, how many people trafficking gangs do you see caught compared to drug smuggling gangs? Where is the war on the people smugglers? It's not there. And when these guys do get caught, they don't get life. They get 5 years, they're out in 2. They've made their money. It's a mafia organisation. The bosses are sitting in countries where they can't get extradited. And the people who do get caught, like the lorry drivers we saw, the one who got caught and got sentenced, and he's just replaced by someone else to just lower down on the scale. So until we get to the head of the mafia and take the head off the snake, as it is, that's not going to work. And we need that money put there to stop these gangs.